he concluded to himself in the dapple gray. He could picture it now. A band of thieves leaving town in a hurry, a sheriff and a group of hastily gathered townsmen in hot pursuit. That was it, he told himself, looking toward the sound of the gunfire as two black dots rode into sight at the head of a white trail of swirling snow. Out of the white swirl, two more black dots came into sight, riding hard to catch up to their partners. There's the thieves. Summers turned his gray and jerked the string along beside him. Farther back along the trail, he saw another rise of swirling snow. And there's the sheriff and his posse. He felt a little better knowing what to expect. But knowing didn't provide much comfort. Not when he and his animals were still out in the open, standing in a swirl of their own steam, about to be caught up in the midst of the fighting. What a spot to be on, he said, still searching back and forth for any cover large enough to stop a bullet. There were times to pitch in and help the law, and there were times it was better to drop back out of the way and let the law do its job. He considered quickly how this could all look to an angry posse. Him out here on the flats with 4 horses, just the right number of mounts to have waiting. As he thought about it, he heard the shots firing back and forth along the trail, drawing closer every second. This wasn't the time or place to get in the law's way. In the swirl of snow, their bullets had no way of knowing which side he was on. This was the time to lie back, let the thieves get past him, offer them no resistance, and wait for the posse. With any luck, the sheriff and his posse would believe he had nothing to do with whatever the 4 riders were running away from. All right, it wasn't the best idea he'd ever had, he told himself, turning the dapple gray. But it would have to do. He loped farther away from the trail, at an easy pace, leading his string, trying to raise no more powdery snow than he had to. He wondered if Turner Goss was still the sheriff in Gunn Point. He hoped so, he thought, looking back over his shoulder at the second cloud of snow rising and swirling along the trail. 3 miles back along the trail, riding sightless in the billowing snow raised by the fleeing gunman, Deputy Parley Stiles stopped firing and raised a gloved hand. "Stop shooting!" he called out over his shoulder. He carefully slowed his horse down gradually until he realized the men following him did as they were told. As he slowed to a halt, the deputy could see the wake of powdery snow raised by the gunman's horses already beginning to clear a little. "Why are we stopping, Parley?" a townsman called out a few feet behind him. "We can't stop now. Not while we've got them in our gun sights. Let's ride them down." "Settle down, DeWitt," said the young deputy. "We're not stopping any longer than it takes to clear the air some." "But damn it, deputy!" the mining engineer named Horace DeWitt cursed before the deputy cut him off. "Strike that language from your mouth, DeWitt," the young deputy demanded. "Else you won't ride another step with this posse." "I meant nothing by it, Parley," DeWitt said, fuming, but keeping his temper in check. "I'm speaking for all of us. We need to stay right down their shirts until we—" "Don't call me Parley again," the young deputy snapped, once more cutting the miner short. "It's your name," the engineer countered. "What the hell, heck, are we being so formal about?" "I'm Deputy Stiles to every one of you," the deputy said, loud enough for all to hear. "Especially while I'm leading this posse." He looked around in turn from one face to the next through the steaming breath of men and animals. "We understand, deputy," said a meek voice among the townsmen. "But why are we stopping? Shouldn't we—" "To keep from breaking our necks and ruining some good horses," the deputy said with authority, before the timid apothecary clerk could finish his words. "Our deputy is right," said a gambler named Herbert Long. "As long as they've got a clear trail and we're stuck with riding in their wake, they've got the odds working in their favor." DeWitt grumbled something cross under his breath, spit, and looked away. "This ain't no poker game, Herbert," he said sorely, settling a little but still clearly not happy about following the young deputy's orders. "Oh, but I beg to differ with you, my oil-craving friend," Long replied, with a hint of disdain lying beneath a rich southern accent. "It's all poker." He passed a slight knowing smile around to the others. "We've only just been dealt this hand. Now we need to study our cards closely before we commit to any—" "Anybody needs to step down and relieve himself, this might be the best chance for a while," said Deputy Stiles, cutting the gambler off as readily as he had the others. The gambler gave a toss of his gloved hand as if in submission.